Hello, I'm Robbie Fowler and you're watching Redmen TV.
I asked the Twitter followers for some questions really, and we'll do 5, 10, 15 minutes on these, and then we'll get on to the other games. We've done Bolton already, haven't we? So it's West Ham, but if it's bloody hell for that for a name. Sorry mate, I can't say your name, but it's Angshuman. You know who you are, mate. Angshuman, I think it is. Sorry, apologies. And we mentioned Lovren, that's why I tried to keep the conversation away from him, because he's laughing his head off at me over there. But I should have practiced that, shouldn't I? I think it's Angshuman. There you go. Dejan Lovren, do you think his Anfield career is over us? And what would he need to do if he got in the team to keep his place? Do you think he's good enough to? Basically,
we touched on it a little bit earlier, and I think I kind of put where my stance is at the minute. I think it's the most clear indication from a manager for a long time that he's got no faith in him, and I think at the minute he's at the very end of the pecking order, and it's going to take a lot of injuries to a lot of players for him to get back in the side. And for me personally, obviously I'm not a manager of the football club, but there's no way he can win me back over now. He's horrendous, mate. He's the worst positionally defensive player I've ever seen, ever, in any football side at any level. He's just, his head's not there. He just goes walkabouts, and he goes to win headers on the halfway line, challenging his own centre mids, and the strikers are getting in to score. He's poor, mate. He's a really poor footballer, and how if we spent £20 million on him, someone needs to be accountable for that.
Keeps coming back to the summer, doesn't it? But Mark, what do you think about Lovren?
The only thing I've got, I'll never say nothing good about Lovren. As I say, I'll go back to that Tottenham game, which I always go back to Tottenham. Something about it. Tottenham game, Balotelli played well, and Lovren must have been something in the air in London, I'd say. But about Lovren, I know you don't want to pick up on the West Ham game, but the warning sign there was the other night when Ivanovic scores, Johnson's picking him up.
Yeah.
So if Johnson's picking Carroll up, Carroll could have a field day just peeling onto Johnson all the time. You've got to be careful of that. Now, I'd never recommend playing Lovren, but I could understand the manager if he does throw him in just for his aerial ability against him. Can't do, he's knocking on the fucking floor, he's shite on the floor. But if he's coming for headers, he's got a chance. With Johnson, flat-footed, isn't he?
And there's talk. Sacco said he's fitter than he thought.
He's saying nothing alarming. I'm joining the group tomorrow. So
I think that might be. I think it would be a risk, if I'm honest. But we'll come on that to a minute. I'll come to the next one from Sean Alexander. That's easier to say. I can cope with Sean. Do you think the criticism of Balotelli is really justified, Mark? Because when he was playing, basically the team were crap. It wasn't just him who was crap, it was everyone. Do you think people are going too harsh on him, or do you think it's deserved?
No, I think it's spot on myself, mate.
Yeah, good.
When I went to Newcastle the other week, if I could have got on that pitch, you were up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go there for the 12 o'clock kick-off, and I could have got on the pitch and I killed him. Because he was showing no effort at all and all that, and it was winding me up. But it's not just that. His attitude stinks, doesn't it? There's rumours now he didn't want to train the other week because he was cold. There's rumours he's going away on the trains and he's been fined by the club that many times on the away trains. His attitude stinks. Rodgers is still praising him. Just tell the truth. That's all we want. He's not a Liverpool player in a million years.
I think the manager got close, didn't he, today, when he said, how's Mario get back in? He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to fit in with the pressing style. And this is the question I was going to get to now, wasn't I? It kind of links in, and it came G-Dog, nice Twitter name. Basically, the manager said today, didn't he? He said about Carroll. He just felt that he didn't fit in. He didn't suit Liverpool. It was kind of like, I thought he wasn't going to get much game time. And then, but as this guy says, but then Liverpool have gone and signed Lambert, and they've gone and signed Balotelli. They're similar players, aren't they? So how can you? Why'd you go from saying Carroll's not a Liverpool type Brendan Rodgers player to saying Lambert and Balotelli are? Is something changed in his head? I don't get it, because that's pretty much what he's done, and he's big, strong target man. Sell him, fair enough. I thought it was the right decision at the time because I didn't like Carroll in terms of how he looked like we were going to play. And it was nearly justified. We nearly win the league with Sturridge and Suarez. But now he's gone back to that type of striker. It's a bit odd.
Something I touched on earlier, mate, committee. Because it just, every time Rodgers talks about Balotelli, we had that instance where he said, I can categorically say Balotelli will not sign for Liverpool. It just seemed like he was giving him. And the limited game time he's had in a time where we're struggling for goals and we've got no striker and we're playing a wide player up front, it just seemed like he doesn't want him. He doesn't want him at the club and he doesn't want him to play for us.
I think he said he gets the final say, but he gets the final say of a group of what they bring to him. So it might be that Balotelli's the best of a bad bunch.
It seemed like he was the bottom of the list, what they put together, and it had to be him, and it hasn't. The gamble, regardless of who gave the final say on that transfer, the gamble has failed dramatically, and I don't even think it's anything to do with whether he wanted a target man, whether he doesn't want a target man, and what kind of striker he'd like. I think he was just giving him, and I honestly think by the limited game time he's had, we can see that it wasn't Brendan Rodgers who wanted him.
But we did, you know, he's brought Lambert in as well, Mark. It just seems odd that it's gone full circle. And if you ask me at the minute, Lambert, Balotelli, Carroll, if you're going to have a target man, if he was fit, you'd want Andy Carroll. And I'm not saying that we were wrong to sell him because it was justified, but it's come full circle in the fact that we're stuck with two pretty immobile strikers now. And that's the reason Carroll goes in the first place. It's odd.
See, Carroll got a lot of stick. I think it was more for his injuries than what it was his ability. Because on the floor, he's a great player, Carroll, and he's not given enough credit for that. So he's more mobile than I like to say Lambert is. You know what I mean? But he can hold the ball up. He can bring others into play. As you say, Thirsty, he is better than them two. There's no two ways about it. And it was odd the way he sold, but there was no one on the market. We signed Balotelli, but I think there was 11 days left in the market. There was no one else out there. And as referring back to my first point, I think it's an FSG point pushed them onto because they're seeing the merchandise things. There's more. I still
think there's. I'm adamant throw 20 million at Swansea for Boney. Still think you've got him.
I can't believe there was people on Twitter who were saying no. I was one of them, definitely 100%. I was saying to want him and all that.
Still can't believe that he didn't. Just I can't get it. I don't get it. Man City just signed him for 30 million quid. I think he's great. I think we'd...
He come out with a saying, and he's always wanted to sign for City for the last 10 years. 10 years ago, we were City.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play for City for years, yeah, when they were in Division 2.
Since I for me boyhood club.
Getting beat 8-1 by Middlesbrough away. I've also been playing on that
day. He's a Robbie Keane, isn't he? Just, loved him. Used to watch, watching them. Like Mark, so it's something that you mentioned there, you don't think they fancy him with money, Rodgers, and this is a question from Mark Hewitt, and he says, can you see FSG trusting Rodgers in the summer with money, with confidence that they'll spend? And first of all, you're presuming he's still here. I hope he is. I really hope he is.
I was just going to say, based just
if he is
purely per opinion alone, I can see a massive overhaul of everything in the summer. At the minute, I hope I'm wrong, but I just think regardless of what happens in the second half of the season, I think FSG's mind's made up, mate, and I think he's on his way in the summer.
Depends. I think if you get fourth, and
it's just all the talks of other managers already being sounded out and agents already being spoken to and stuff. It just, I hope I'm wrong, and that's a massive turnaround just on 6 weeks ago. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he is here next season, but just gut instinct telling me he won't be.
So, but if he is here, then March, can you see them? It's the money again. Are they going to go? There's more money because they can't. We want them to keep throwing money at him. It's great for us. And when you see Chelsea signing Cuadrado today, it's a bit like, oh, they made that look so easy, but they are minted and fair play to them. City signing Boney when they've got Aguero and Dzeko and Jovetic again. It's hard not to feel envious, but again, it's a billionaire club. But at some stage, FSC are going to have to say, they're not going to just keep throwing money at it, are they? They're going to...
I think it's a case of, you've got us doing, we're going back to the first point we made tonight, that they never replace Suarez, so you've got to go out and pay 30-40 million for a striker. There's no two, whoever comes in, if say Rodgers did go, which as I say, I hope he doesn't, but say he did go, a new manager's going to come in and demand a world-class striker. They've got to, because you've got one striker at the club and 3 has-beens. Let's just be, who should be playing for a mediocre club in the Premiership, if that at all. So whoever comes in, or if Rodgers stays, there's no two ways about it. They've got to give him money. I know what you're saying about trusting him, but he's got to be giving it. So either A, the committee goes, or Rodgers goes. You can't keep running it like this. It's like a roadshow.
And I'm thinking, if they don't trust them and they don't trust this committee, like you say, something's got to give, because it's got, well, I don't mean to sound too negative, but and I think I always think, looking at the summer now, it looks better in the fact that the likes of Chan and Markovic and maybe Lallana, if he can stay fit, they look like good buys, and they have had good buys. Saka looks a good buy, Coutinho's a good buy, Sturridge is a good buy, but it seems like the ones that they bought to be fringe squad players have been great, but the lads that they needed to get right, they needed to get the striker right, and if he didn't think Saka was good enough, which obviously he didn't, he needed to get the centre half right, and they're the two that's gone tits up. And every club makes bad buys, and you kind of forget about them sometimes. You know, Chelsea have had some shockers, but you can afford not to. We're in a position now where you've got to be more right than wrong. Like Chelsea can buy a Salah, and if it doesn't work, they'll sell him for 5 million, and no one will ever remember about it again. Liverpool buy, say, Markovic, and say he flopped, and we sold him, it'd be like, oh, you know, Aquilani, terrible, you know, we can't get away with it. So I think you've got to work a little bit differently, and yeah, something's got to give, really, hasn't it?
Is the argument, though, that FSC could be the money ball and throw massive money, but we've seen the last couple of transfer windows especially, when we've tried to be the money ball and we've gone after the big names don't fancy Liverpool. We need something more now, even if it's a person who's brought in. specifically to do that, we need someone to be selling it better, mate, because we're losing out on the top players who are going to our rivals, and something's got to give there. We could go and throw £40 million at fucking the informed striker at the minute everyone wants, like I said. We could go and say, yeah, there's 30 million, we want him. And then what we've seen the last few years with Tottenham, Chelsea, the others, when we go big on these big players, they'll just come in to stop us getting them, and they seem to be selling their end of the bargain a lot better than what we can do. We need to be doing something.
Probably wages, isn't it, you think?
We've got to be doing something more and pushing it more to spend big on proven instead of spending big-ish on potential, because that's where we're going wrong, spending what you would call big money on potential players.
And Mark, I can't imagine that the wages aren't there, and they did have to cut the wage bill down, and Gerrard leaving's going to help that. Johnson maybe might go, so there's another big earner gone. So you talk, there's no one really left on that on a massive contract, is there? I think Sterling might get £100,000, might be. Will he be the highest? I'm not sure what Sturridge is.
Sturridge is on about 15 or something like that. But that's, you go back to Sanchez, when we went for Sanchez, Liverpool blew Arsenal out the water with the money for his wages. If they've offered him 130, 140, Liverpool said, here's 200 grand. His wife would have...
Suarez's money.
She would have got rich. She wouldn't have liked London then. She'd be in Liverpool now, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's...
That's 60 grand could have bought her a helicopter to get there.
Can I helicopter over to London all the time? But as I say, that's where Liverpool, they want to play money ball. They want to keep the payments under 100 grand. And I can understand that, we haven't got the monies of Chelsea's and Man City, but at the same time, you want these superstar players and you want to go back to that elite, the top four, year in, year out, you've got to pay the wages. You can get linked with all the players you want. If you're not prepared to pay the money, you're not going to get them.
No, I agree. And whether it changes or not, times... Might even get someone in January, but I wouldn't know. I'm not holding my breath. I don't think... How long's the window left? Well, 2 days, yeah. Not again. The manager, I think, said today, every manager would like 1 or 2, but then he reiterates, but I don't think...
But it's unlikely.
It's unlikely. It gives you the overall unlikely stuff. A couple more then. You asked George, we were saying, do you think Balotelli can be a success? I'm going to answer on behalf of the lads. They think he's not going to be a success. I think we can read that from the tone of voice that we've heard in the last few minutes. So last one then, this one with a lad called Quickie. Hello Quickie, that's a nice name. Mark, I'll come to you. Now that we've settled down with a back three, do you ever see, he says Lovren, but can you see a position where someone else comes in and Chan becomes the midfielder? So maybe, he says Lovren, but maybe even Torre or even Johnson, or is it Chan to stay?
Yeah, I think Chan, when Gerrard does go at the end of the season, I think there's no two ways about it. I think Chan will be back in the midfield myself, and we'll go and buy, hopefully, touch wood, a quality centre half to go in there. You can't, hopefully get rid of Lovren on a free or something like that. Not there. But, so we'll have to replace 2 centre halves, push Chan off. And if you don't know if Rodgers is going to stick with the 3 when Sturridge is back. Because I want to see Markovic, I know jumping subjects a bit there, I want to see Markovic playing without the responsibility of defending and see what he's like, because he seemed to turn the corner when he came on against Basel before he got sent off. So, and that was in an attacking role. Now he's reverting back all the time. So whether we stick with 3 at the back going forward, I don't know if that's the answer. Whether we go back to 4-4-2 or 3-5-2-1-6, whatever it was last season.
It was more diamond, it was the diamond, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know whether he'll go back to 2 centre-halves or he'll keep it at 3. But as I say, I think Tian will be back into Gerrard's boots myself.
Yeah, I think I agree, yeah.
Definitely.